Hello everybody and welcome to the London Sinfonietta's YouTube channel and to the third of our Postcard Pieces concerts, part of our lockdown live series. Apologies, we're a few minutes late, we had some gremlins, but we're here now and thank you if you are watching live, thank you for waiting. You can find out more about our lockdown live series, future concert and past concerts if you subscribe down here, so the more subscribers the better. So please press that red button. Now, I'm joined today by two wonderful musicians, cellist Jolie Coos and trumpeter Christian Barraclough. Hello both. Hello, are you here? Great to see you. Now, Postcard Pieces as a project started a few weeks ago and I met with composers Deborah Pritchard and Samantha Fernando and they showed me how they made Postcard Pieces. Now, it's essentially a way of composing or creating music using all sorts of communications. It just has to go on the back of a postcard. So you can use colours or shapes, abstract images, collages, written instructions, or even, if you're feeling very daring, some traditional music notation. Now, we've had loads of pieces submitted to us from all over the world, actually, quite happily, and each week we've been selecting 8 pieces to perform live to you, and we've got 8 brilliant pieces today, which I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing. Jolie, when you're selecting your postcard pieces to play, what is it that you're looking for?
Well, first of all, I want to say that every single postcard I looked at, and I looked at quite a few, was really beautiful and there had been a lot of thought put into it. But I guess in the end, it's also what immediately came out for me, what immediately was a hook in, what got my imagination going.
Fantastic, absolutely. Sometimes there's one that really grabs you, isn't there, straight away, and you think that's going to really suit me and suit the cello. Christian, as a performer of a lot of contemporary music, what's brilliant about performing off a postcard piece rather than a piece of traditional notation?
Well, a few things. I mean, firstly, obviously there's the freedom that you get, complete freedom with interpreting the shapes and colours and all the rest of it that you get with a postcard. But there's also the fact that every single performance is unique. So you are never going to have 2 performances exactly the same, and that in itself is exciting. So even with traditional notation, you might have variations in performance, but it will still basically be the same piece. With this, it's completely different. You'll never have the same thing again.
That's really exciting. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play 2 pieces back to back, as it were. And I'll pop up and talk in between those. Now, our first 2 pieces, the first piece we're going to start with is by Finlay Parker. Hello, Finlay. I hope you're watching. I think you are, actually. And Finlay, I know, plays the violin, so it's really appropriate that Jolie is going to play this piece. Finlay says of his piece, he had a very definite idea of what he was going to do when he sat down to make his postcard piece, and it was like an instinctive response to how he was feeling at that moment. Jolie, what do you see in Finlay's postcard?
Well, I also had an immediately big, strong gut feeling about this piece. I saw the box, and this is a box full of energy, and this energy is sizzling inside, and the box is waiting to explode, and then it does. There's a big foot that comes out of the side of it, like, enough! And then this whole pattern of energy coming up. It's first of all slow, we've got blues, which is colder, and reds coming up, and then daggers, and then it all dissipates at the end, goes back in the box, and then it starts up again.
Wow, that's quite some journey. I can't wait to hear that. And once Jolie's finished that, we'll then go to Christian. And Christian's going to play a piece by ISABELLA GUILAR, who's also school age but older than Finlay. She's in year 12. And she says she just found the idea of creating a postcard piece great fun and she was inspired to do it. So let's hear those 2 pieces. Jolie, you go first, please.
Okay.
Christian, thank you so much. And Jodie, thank you as well for our first two pieces by Finlay Parker and by Isabella GUILAR there. Christian, I was just going to ask, in Isabella's piece, there was some music notation there. Did you use some of those notes in your performance?
Yes, I did. It was quite useful to actually have those as almost like little reference points in the music. So in the first one, there's an arrow that jumps down, I think, into the first little idea, and then it would wind its way around, and there's the ribbons that sort of the meandering little tunes that would then bring you up to there's a central one as well, so bring you up there. Yeah. And what I really liked was the last one I played, where the lines have been, that they're waving, so the stave is like waving. So I interpreted that as sort of waving the notes within it. So still using the notation, but changing the way you'd play them, not through any specific direction, but just the way she's drawn it.
Great. I have to say, I thought the really bold colours that she used, really kind of like clearly defined shapes, really suited the bright colours of the trumpet. I have to say, I can see
a very vibrant postcard.
Yeah,
that's what drew me to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, really see why you chose that. Now, as we said earlier on, lots and lots of postcard pieces got sent into us. We can only perform 8 every week, but you can see them all on our website. If you go to our website and sort of search for Through the Lens and then postcard pieces, you'll find a whole array of amazing postcard pieces that have been sent to us. You might find the link on this YouTube page too. Now we're going to hear two more pieces. One is by a lady called May, who's from France, and I think it's a very colourful piece. It's called The Birth of Nature, and we'll hear that in a little while by Jolie. But first, we're going to get Christian back into action straight away, and he's chosen a very dramatic and intense looking postcard piece by ADRIAN Dollemore. Christian, what was it about this that made you choose this piece?
I think what I liked about this was it's sort of a bit of a juxtaposition. You've got what almost looks like conventional notation, but it's all been smudged. It's all been distorted by like a water spillage or something like that. Yeah. So the reason I quite liked this was the idea of trying to play something that sounded perhaps conventional, but wasn't. So you would mask the sound in some way. So hopefully you'll see that through the performance.
Fab. And Jolie, just before we start these pieces, what was it about May's piece, The Birth of Nature, that attracted you? Yeah,
well, I think first of all, I think she wasn't a lady. I think this is a younger person, but
I think so.
Yeah, what attracted me to this is just incredibly positive. It's got consonant colours, it's butterflies, everything's about growth and the birth of. She even writes the birth of nature and creation. I wanted to have something contrasting and really, really sort of full of love.
Absolutely, she says that. Yeah, she says to be played with love. So it's a very nice pairing. There's a kind of very dark, intense, brooding quality to ADRIAN Dollemore's piece, and then May's is a beautiful, light-filled ending. Well, Christian, we'll hand back to you then, and we'll hear both these pieces. Oh, Jodie, thank you so much. That was so joyous and full of sort of light and sunshine and gorgeousness. Thank you so much. And Christian, before that was really smoky sort of nightclub going on. Christian, we couldn't quite see your bell, but I could hear you had a certain type of mute in, didn't you? A really familiar mute. One of those sort of, what do you call it? A cup mute. Is that a cup mute? Beautiful. And it gets that really, and using it on and off, and both of you using unpitched sounds as well. So Jodie tapping the body of the cello, and Christian flutter tongue through only breath, only air through the instrument as well to kind of extend what your instruments can do. I love both those pieces. Thank you so much, and thank you May and Adrian for sending those ones in. They were beautiful. Now, we've had all sorts of postcard pieces sent to us in all sorts of mediums. We've had them on the back of egg boxes, had them on cardboard, we've had collages, we've had one with leaves and spices on it as a kind of collage as well as, of course, pencils and pens. This next piece by Simon Bennison is a piece of computer art, a piece of digital art, and it's called PowerPoint. And Simon says this, I'm going to read a little bit of his program note out. He says he began while exploring some super basic symbols from within a word processor, and it seemed there could be enough useful graphic information literally right in front of me to begin creating a postcard piece. And Jolie, such a different looking piece than the one you've just played. Why did you choose it?
I chose it actually for the challenge because this went straight into my logical mind. And I found it at first, I thought, oh, it doesn't speak to me creatively. And I realised I needed to dig. But once I did, then the problem was there was just too much happening. So I have no idea what I'm going to play. But for me, this is actually rather playful. It's like a board game or some kind of rat run, marble run. It's got so many possibilities. We've got time and pitch being one of them, and we've got a looping back, so I can sort of go back over things, change things around, change the ideas, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens to my brain while I play this.
If we see your hair standing on end, like one of those scientific experiments, we'll know it's working. And then after Simon's piece, we're going to hear a piece by KIAN, SHAH, who is aged 9 years old. It proves you're never too young to start composing. So everyone get composing, please. Never too old either. So everybody get composing, please. Now, like Simon's piece, it's got some really bold, standout images, but it's kind of quite witty. It's incredibly colourful. Christian, why did you choose this?
For exactly the reasons you've just said. I like the humour element. I like that there's a lot of ambiguity as well, but also a lot of certainty in it. You know, there's no hiding what some of the images are, and I like the way it feels linear. So actually, there looks like there's direction in this postcard as well. So hopefully, I'll try and follow that.
Brilliant. I agree. I put down in my notes it's a really witty, or it feels quite witty, this piece, and it's actually got in one corner a washing line with washing on it, and we've got definitely our first pair of musical pants in the postcard piece series. So I'm looking forward to hearing those. But Jolie, if you wouldn't mind starting, please, with Simon Bennison's piece, which is called PowerPoint. It says on the score, ha 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 hi, Christian, and you absolutely did that with the most explicit, in the most explicit way possible. So thank you very much for reaching into the stratosphere of your trumpet. That was wonderful. And before that, Jolie, that was definitely playful. I love the little sort of the pips and the squeaks you were finding. And the leitmotif, that little woo figure you brought in several times during the piece, was really nice to have that coming out. And little fragments of almost recognisable music at points too. So really wonderful. And thank you, KIAN SHAH and Simon Bennison, for those two pieces. Brilliant. Now, before we hear our final two pieces, I just want to draw your attention, everybody, to more events in London Sinfonietta Lockdown Live series. This coming Monday, the 18th of May, our principal horn, Michael Thompson, will be introducing contemporary techniques for the horn and contemporary writing for the French horn. He's an amazing player, so do come and hear that. And the following Monday, the 25th of May, Melinda Maxwell will be doing the same for the oboe. Now, last week, Melinda played some postcard pieces in this concert last Friday, and we found out that she can play chords on the oboe, 4 or 5 notes at the time on one instrument. It's an amazing sound, so do check out what she can do with the oboe. Also, on our YouTube channel, there are all our previous events and Lockdown Live series, including a magnificent recitals from the pianist Cleona Shanahan, from flautist Michael Cox, and our double bass principal Enno Senft. So do check those out as well. Wonderful performances, world premieres by composers such as Patrick Brennan and Laura Bowler and others. So our final two pieces both feel to me very seasonal, very kind of late spring, early summer, very beautiful and light pieces, and I'm really pleased we are finishing with them. Firstly, we're going to hear Idyll by James Westerby, which is played by Jolie. So Jolie, what was it about this piece that you really liked?
Oh, straight away I looked at it and I saw what it was, and I felt totally inadequate because this is an orchestral piece. Straight away I'm looking at it, it's full of textures. It's an airship. I mean, that's what I saw straight. It's an airship being powered by this 3 notes that James has set up. And I thought, well, even though I'm not a huge sort of messy out orchestra with an Armand Martineau, I will try and do my best. And then yesterday I thought I'll just try a few things, lost all track of time and gave myself blisters. James, that's how much I liked your piece.
That's not an idyll.
It's covered in plasters now. But I lost all track of time. So I've no idea what I'll come out with today. I hope it's something along the same lines. It's lulling and floating and pulsing, and he's very particular, having 5 pulses in his texture. Very interesting.
Beautiful. It's very vibrant. I'm looking forward to that. And then finally, we're going to end with a piece by Linda Hanrads called Love and Understanding. I'm just going to read a little bit of Linda's program note that she sent us. And she says this. She says, I love the idea that a single piece can be interpreted differently by each musician playing it. As I came late to learning to read and play music and to have the confidence to sing, I love the idea of writing a musical piece without the rules of traditional notation. My first piece, Love and Understanding, was inspired by the rainbows being displayed everywhere as a symbol of love and thanks to the wonderful staff of the NHS. And she ends it by saying situations like this bring out the very best in the majority of people, and it feels like a really positive ending for us. Christian, do you want to add anything to that at all?
No, I think that sums it up perfectly. That's one of the reasons I thought it'd be a great one to play, because I think it's very appropriate for where we are, and I also thought I love how she wants this difference between the sort of the tense and anguish that we're all feeling at the same, whilst at the same time the hope and joy that we're all bringing each other. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to explore two quite different instruments as well, and to use them next to each other, so to try and bring out those moods.
So you've got your flugelhorn there.
There's a flugelhorn and a piccolo trumpet. So
beautiful. Wow. Big embouchure change. Okay, super. So, well, let's hear those. Let's hear James Westerby's Idyll, please, Jolie, and then we'll go straight into Linda Hanrads's Love and Understanding. Thank you, Christian, very much indeed. That was so lovely to hear the kind of the contrast of the brilliance of the piccolo trumpet with that special lyrical quality the flugelhorn has. And thank you very much. And Jodie, before that, wow, I mean, all harmonic playing, all singing cello playing from Jodie there. Thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful. It occurred to me as the piece started, and I hadn't seen it before, and I really realised now, of course, it's perfect for the cello because it starts with the musical pictures have the lowest C, don't they? The lowest note on the cello is there. It's almost like it was written for the cello, that piece, in many respects. And not many instruments could do that kind of that range of harmonies and colours that you manage. So thank you, both of you, for that. Thank you, actually, really, for bringing such kind of integrity and imagination and virtuosity to these performances. So Jodie Coos and Christian Baraklov, I'm sure everyone around the country watching this broadcast is now clapping and offering a standing ovation to you for your wonderful, wonderful playing. Thank you.
And thank you to the composers for inspiring us.
Absolutely. Thank you to the 8 composers whose music we heard today. Really wonderful selection of images and things to inspire us and enable us to play such a range of music. Everyone at London Sinfonietta is very, very grateful to the Arts Council of England for underpinning all the work we do, and also to a range of trusts and foundations and individual donors who also support. If you're interested in supporting our work, please head along to the website and find out how to. And while you're there, of course, you can, through the lens postcard pieces, see our gallery of all the pieces that have been sent in to us. And maybe if you play an instrument at home at any standard, with any level of experience, you might decide to have a go at playing one of those pieces yourself. If an image really stands out to you, print it out and play it and see how it feels to play it, and explore all the expressive range of your instrument and of your kind of intellectual ability as well, and have a great time doing that. They're great fun to play. But for now, thank you again, Jodie. Thank you again, Christian. Everybody else, be happy during lockdown, and we hope to see you at the Sinfonietta some other time. Okay, bye everybody.